Up part of a coveted liquor license in Louisville on their own. A local business making a voluntary move, and it's being applauded by city leaders tonight. Hello, everybody, and thank you for staying up just a little bit late with us tonight here on the WHAS 1119. We have a full report for you in the next 30 minutes. I'm Doug Profit. WHAS 1119's Taylor Woods talks to the manager of Cafe 360 in the Highlands after a 21-year-old man was shot and killed in the early morning hours over the weekend.
After Sunday morning's deadly shooting inside Cafe 360 that took the life of 21-year-old Theodore Brown.
It was quite disturbing.
The popular hangout spot on Bardstown Road, known for drinks, food, and hookah, has volunteered to temporarily suspend their extended alcohol license. That's the part of a liquor license that allows them to sell alcohol between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m.
Firstly, I thought about the safety of anybody around the place.
This means they will only be able to sell alcohol up until 2 a.m. for the next 6 months. They've also committed to hire private security on the weekends from Friday to Sunday, starting at 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The store's manager, Dinesh, who asks not to be on camera, says this move comes to prevent any further violent acts from happening.
For the business, it's pretty tough, but I have to make some strong decisions just to safeguard my neighborhood.
Metro Council member Ben Reno-Weber is pleased to see the unusual move from the pub. He and other Metro Council members have been working on a proposed ordinance that would allow Louisville ABC to issue immediate license suspensions in cases where there's a threat to public safety.
We're seeing voluntary, proactive action to make our neighborhood safer on the part of the businesses that are there, and that's being a good neighbor, and I'm just grateful.
Wednesday, that proposed ordinance passed out of committee and is awaiting a vote. Reno-Weber says it's all about having the right tools in place.
I think we're really trying to be thoughtful about not overreaching and punishing places that are trying to do their best.
Store manager Dinesh says it's up to the patrons to do their part as well.
They have to be more responsible when they get under influence of alcohol. They have to know the control what they have of it.
Remaining hopeful that these security measures will lessen the violence. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 1119 on your side.
Metro Council members, by the way, were supposed to vote on the proposed ordinance that tweaks Louisville ABC rules, but tonight's meeting was canceled. We're going to keep you updated on the air and online once a date and a vote is made. New court documents have now been filed in the ongoing investigation into the death of Crystal Rogers in Bardstown. Attorneys for Brooks Houck are requesting that his trial be moved out of Nelson County. In the change of venue request, Houck and his team claim they cannot get a fair trial in the county or anywhere in central Kentucky because of all the news media coverage the case has received. They've now requested a change of venue to either Boyd County in eastern Kentucky or Owensboro in Davis County, citing similar demographics to Nelson County, but with no, quote, pattern of deep and bitter prejudice against Brooks, end quote. Right now, Houck is charged, along with two other men, Steve and Joseph Lawson, in connection to the death of Rogers. Today's request comes just days after Steve Lawson's attorney asked for his charges to be dropped, claiming Lawson was promised immunity. Both motions will be heard when all three men appear in court coming up in a few days. That's on March 21st. And we do have new information in the murder for hire case involving a Louisville pediatrician. Lawyers for Dr. Stephanie Russell filed new court documents revealing that she allegedly wanted to put a death spell on her ex-husband. Now, Russell is accused of trying to pay a hitman $7,000 to kill her ex-husband, Rick Crabtree, in 2022. She used the code word Christmas flowers in text messages to refer to the hit, according to the court documents. Now, the hitman turned out to be an undercover FBI agent. New court documents now show Russell wanted to put a death spell on her ex-husband after he was awarded full custody of their two children. Russell claims he was abusing her children. She messaged a woman who described herself as a spiritual healer on WhatsApp, asking for help to kill the man using supernatural means, according to the documents. Russell's defense team filed these documents to show Russell's state of mind. Her trial is now scheduled to start on April 22nd. The former Bloomfield Police Chief, Steve Cameron, was in court today, now facing criminal charges after he and the city clerk were fired last May. Today in court, Cameron pleaded not guilty to charges of tampering with physical evidence, falsely reporting an incident, and official misconduct. Authorities claim Cameron knowingly lied about an employee trading sexual favors for overdue bills and stealing funds from the city for personal purchases. However, attorneys argue Cameron was working through the proper channels.
Mr. Cameron was chief of police, and he was doing what he was hired to do and what police officers do. And he was doing it properly according to what the information is that I have. Mr. Cameron was fired as chief of police the same day the city clerk was. And so as a result of his termination, he was doing some things that discontinued.
Cameron's defense will now examine evidence obtained by prosecutors. A pretrial is set to take place on June 7th and a jury trial on June 24th. All new tonight, Kentucky Democrats walk right out of a committee hearing in Frankfort today. It's an apparent protest of a bill on pregnancy. The three Democratic lawmakers, including Representative Rachel Rourke, are seen here at the bottom of your screen, getting up and leaving the committee as House Bill 467 is introduced. The bill would require hospitals and birthing centers to provide or make referrals for patients to mental health support services if there's a diagnosis indicating the baby may die before or soon after birth. Opponents say the bill shames mothers who are losing children instead of providing a full scope of medical care. However, supporters said the bill is about being compassionate.
Our colleagues on the Democratic side all got up and left. And that's an atrocity, because when it comes to these type of issues, this is very important. And I want folk to understand we're just protecting the health and life of these children.
So I think this is a very compassionate piece of legislation that gives us the opportunity to support women and their families physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially.
After the walkout, the bill passed unanimously by the remaining members. It now heads to the full Kentucky House. In the Kentucky Senate, a bill aimed at adult-oriented businesses passed out of the Kentucky Senate today. Senate Bill 147 would create zoning regulations around adult entertainment establishments, not allowing them to be within 1 block of schools, churches, and parks. A portion of the bill targets what are called adult cabaret shows, which originally included drag shows.
We have recently seen performances that historically have been in the adult entertainment space, but yet have now moved into the public sector and advertised for all ages, specifically for children.
However, a floor amendment now removes the word drag from the bill. Still, opponents say they're concerned the bill may violate free speech rights.
Just going through some of the constitutional history, the challenges that have been seen in so many other similar states, whether it's Tennessee, Florida, Montana, Texas, has cost their states lots of money and has otherwise been upheld as unconstitutional or been held up in federal court.
Originally, the bill required businesses in violation to relocate when their lease expired or within 5 years of the bill becoming law. A floor amendment that passed removes that requirement. Instead, businesses could lose their ability to renew business or liquor licenses. A new committee formed by Metro Council is looking to change rules for land use across our city in hopes of addressing affordable housing. Right now, the city is facing a shortage of over 30,000 affordable housing units. Metro Council President Marcus Winkler says one of the reasons why we have such a large shortage is due to the fact development takes so long. In part, pushback from citizens during building approval slows the process down.
Really what people are expressing, though, is concerns for, have we made adequate investments in traffic capacity? Okay, have we made adequate investments in sewage capacity?
At this first meeting, the Office of Planning and Design recommended a focus on middle housing, something like what's commonly seen in Old Louisville, where 3 to 6 homes are in the same building. However, current zoning does not allow for that type of construction. And new tonight, a construction hold will soon be going into effect in parts of Louisville, ordered by Metro Public Works. It's to help make Derby 150 as smooth as possible. Here's how this order works. The moratorium on construction will run from Friday, April 12th through May 15th. These construction-related activities will not be allowed in the public right-of-way, dumpsters, equipment, construction activities and materials. It impacts the downtown central business district, roads leading to the track, and a 2-block perimeter around Churchill Downs. All work must be finished with roadways and sidewalks open and cleared for pedestrians and traffic. Well, tonight, President Joe Biden delivering a fiery State of the Union speech pushing for unity among Democrats and Republicans. You just saw it here on WHAS11. And in a surprise show of that unity, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul invited Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg to be his guest tonight. Each member of Congress is allowed to bring one guest to the State of the Union, and this year you can see Republican Senator Rand Paul chose the Democratic mayor as his guest. Senator Paul said he was excited to have Mayor Greenberg as his guest, saying in part, "We have a good working relationship and have met several times to discuss Louisville issues, and each time our discussions have been pleasant and free from partisanship." While in Washington, Greenberg also made stops to visit Republican Representative Hal Rogers right here, and of course fellow Democrat Morgan McGarvey of Louisville. In a statement sent to WHAS 11, the mayor's office says that they are hoping to raise Louisville's profile in Washington and with the Biden administration. They say they want to keep Louisville on the radar of those who are making investment decisions at the federal level.